Hello and welcome to the astrology vibe of the week. This astrology vibe is for this week and for the next 18 months as we're having a nodal shift. The nodes of the moon are shifting, and this is going to majorly impact us collectively and also on an individual level. So you really want to pay attention to this one because it's big stuff. The first thing is understanding what is the nodes? Like, what are the nodes of the moon? What does that even mean? So I'm gonna just share this picture with you because it's the easiest way to explain it. So the sun is on a specific path, and we call this path the ecliptic. And the moon is on a specific path, and we call this path the lunar path, both moving around the earth, right? And at the places where the path of the moon and the path of the sun, the ecliptic and the lunar path, where they touch, those are the nodal points in astrology. So the nodes are not planets or asteroids or anything like that. They are mathematical points where the ecliptic and the lunar path touch. And that is how we get the north node and how we get the south node. Every 18 months, the nodes of the moon shift into a totally new sign. So for the past 18 months, we have had the north node in Aries and we've had the south node in Libra. And when we talk about the nodes of the moon on an archetypal understanding of evolution, how we are evolving individually and how we are evolving and growing on a collective level, that's what we're really talking about when we talk about the north node of the moon. And the south node of the moon is what harmful archetypal energies or lower vibrational energies come through with whatever sign that south node is in. So with the Aries north node, we have been for 18 months up until this point, till January 11th, we've been learning about putting ourselves first, which has required setting boundaries. It's required maybe making other people a little bit unhappy, doing things that has ruffled someone else's feathers, that has been in your life, but you've had to make a decision to choose yourself and to go on a path that is aligned with you. And when when the north node is in Aries, the more that one chooses themselves and learns about their own very unique, very individual journey that is unlike anyone else's journey. It's just 100% unique to you. That's Aries. It's the very first breath of life in the zodiac wheel, and seasonally, March, the very first breath of spring. So we've been learning over the past 18 months this Aries archetype of the warrior, of choosing ourselves, of in evolutionary astrology, it is filling your cup first, really learning about what happens when you are putting others in front of you and taking the power back, taking your power back of living the life on your own terms and in alignment with what your heart desires and what is truly authentic and very individual and unique to you. So to live a life like that, you really need to conjure some like deep, magical, powerful bravery, because 99% of the collective is following in the footsteps of someone else, right? They're doing things to make their parents happy, even if their parents are no longer around. They're doing things to fit into the societal roles that deem them worthy or successful. They are doing things to be able to make money, but their, heart is cold and sad and life feels meaningless. And that's what most of the people in this world, unfortunately, in the United States, that's what most people are doing, because we've been fed this illusionary tale that we need to follow the path that's already been created and fit within society's standards. And the past 18 months has been about what is authentic to you. What does your soul truly deeply crave? And how can you start to break free from some of those, some of the imprisonments of typical society, of the patriarchal society that we were all born into? Just coming into this incarnation, we got put into, a certain structure of society, and we've been learning on a deeply individual level how to break free from some of those constructs and illusions. And we know that it takes a lot of courage, it takes a lot of bravery to step out of situations that are not authentic, that are not true, that are not real for us, and to take accountability of our lives, to live in a way that is empowering, so that we are not the victim of circumstance, but in spite of whatever challenges we've had in our lives and hardships we've had in our lives and the trauma that we've had in our life, we still rise. I'm thinking of that Maya Angelou poem, and still I rise. Look that one up if you really want to get chills, the chills of empowerment. She's so powerful. So that's something that we've been exploring, is our courage, our bravery, our going into the unknown, our going, sort of leaping into having to trust and have faith of what is next, even if we don't know the steps, really deep diving into what we want in a way that is selfish, but in the best way possible. The kind of selfishness that is, I am choosing a path that is true to me so that I can help set others free. Because when I rise, I allow others to do the same, and I create the energetic frequency of freedom and liberation. Now, on January 11th, which is a super magical number, 111, let's talk about that. 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3, and 3 is an angel number. It's like the angels are here. The angels are supporting us on this journey. So the nodes travel backwards, okay? So the node that has been is North Node Aries, South Node Libra, clearing of themes of putting other people and the other in front of the self. Aries is, I choose my own path. I fill my cup first. I put on my oxygen mask first. Now the nodes are traveling backwards, which means that on the ecliptic line where the sun and the moon are traveling and touching at those 2 points, we will have the eclipses. And we know that when we have the eclipses, during those times, often there is fated events that happen, there is some chaos that happens, there is some surprising plot twists and turns that can happen, and it's really a redirection of the cosmic forces. And those ecliptic points, those eclipses, say that 10 times fast, set the tone, they set the scene for the next over the year, 18 months. So now we're going to have the North Node in Pisces and the South Node in Virgo. And so the topics that we'll be experiencing on a really deep level, especially if you have North Node, Pisces or Virgo, or you have Sun, Moon, Rising, or Saturn in Pisces or Virgo, you're especially going to be experiencing these themes on a deep level and a profound level, and there will be profound growth available to you. And we might even add, the mutable signs. Since Pisces and Virgo are mutable, we can add all the mutable signs with your Sun, Moon, Rising, your Saturn, or the nodes, okay? So North Node Pisces at its highest frequency is the energy of deep wells of compassion, understanding, love, oneness, spirituality, deep healing. And in the past couple of months, I've had a lot of conversations with people that have had religious trauma and have had this experience of being in a religion that they don't actually feel connected to. They don't actually feel supported. They don't actually feel loved in this religion, the religion that they were brought up in, that they were raised in. And when I talk about spirituality, I want to be crystal clear. I am not talking about a specific organized religion. What I am talking about is the understanding that there is something greater than ourselves and that we are connected to this divine energy that flows through all things. If you think about how nature, literally the trees are breathing with us. We are inhaling oxygen and sharing carbon dioxide with the trees, and the trees are intaking carbon dioxide and sharing oxygen. And we're in this really deep, mystical, we can explain most things through science and biology, and they're mystical. Like this is a mystical thing that the plants and the humans and the beings that we all need each other. So there's this connection to nature and connection to this spiritual world, the unseen world. And I'm not talking about a man in the sky that decides if you're going to heaven or hell. That is not what I'm talking about when I talk about Piscean spirituality. What I am talking about is having this sense of compassion for all beings, for all sentient beings, understanding that we are all beings that feel and are connected to one another. And in Buddhism, they have this really profound understanding of living things, and they say that you are literally on a not literally like in the material realm, but in the realm of frequency and energy, connected to every living being. So if you hurt yourself, for example, with your words, if you say things about yourself like, oh, I'm ugly, I'm stupid, I can't do this, I can't do that, you are doing that to someone else. By doing it to yourself, you are doing it to someone else. And then the same goes with things that are happening outside of us, where if someone is hurting somebody else, we as this collective oneness, this like morphic field of sentient beings, also experience that. And Pisces is about all of these different experiences on the human plane. There are saints and sages and spiritual beings. There are leaders and doctors and teachers, and there are business owners, and there are artists, and there are people who study bugs for a living. And we are all connected to every single being out there. And so in Buddhism, they say, what you do to yourself, you are doing that to everyone, to every sentient being. We're all connected in this morphic field of energy and of frequency. And the teaching of Buddhism is live kindly, live compassionately, live with an open heart, and understand that every action you take and every thought that you think impacts every other sentient and conscious being. I'm talking about little ladybugs in the world. And that's why we have so many vegetarian Buddhists. I'm not vegetarian, nor am I a Buddhist or Hindu or, pertaining to any one religion, because for me, my spirituality is in nature, and it's also simply in connection to this divine force of beautiful life that flows through all living beings. And I want to be open to all these different ways of connecting with God or nature or spirit, and all these different ways of having a connection to what helps you feel connected to something bigger than yourself. So I'm really interested in studying different world religions, because oftentimes they have beautiful teachings that can be really healing and helping us open our heart. So I'm talking about Pisces North Node, by the way. I'm not going on a totally random tangent. This is about the nodes of the moon and the energy over the next 18 months. So we have this greater potential, this greater powerful channel of eclipses that will help us connect to the energy of Pisces, which is the energy of I am connected to all living beings. And through the actions and the choices and the thoughts that I think and the things that I do in my life, may I become a healing presence for all other beings. May my showing up in the world exactly as I am help others raise to their own, highest vibration. May my way of being in the world simply be a model of how I wish to see the world. So the mindset becomes a really important piece over the next 18 months, because there's another layer of Pisces, which is the victim. It's, I have had really challenging experiences. I've had so much pain, and this person hurt me and that person hurt me. And therefore, I have a hardened heart and a cold heart and an unforgiving heart, and I'm angry. And I'm walking around the world with anger. And I don't even know it, but my anger is impacting the morphic field, the vibrational frequency of all the space around me. I'm angry and I'm judgmental and I'm blaming things on other people. That can happen in this Piscean energy because it's the amalgamation of all human experience, which is the highest of highs and the bare bottom, lowest of lows. And oftentimes, when you hear people talk about the rock bottom moment, this is a Piscean thing. I hit rock bottom. And oftentimes what happens is they hit rock bottom and they have an awakening. That's part of my personal journey, as I hit a rock bottom, and it brought me to an awakening, to a spiritual awareness that it is my duty in this incarnation to heal so that I can be, a loving, compassionate human being and spread more of that rather than spread the judgment and the hate and the frustration and the pain. Right? It's this awakening to, this is my decision and I am here to be 100% myself, uniquely me. And I understand that my healing journey most likely is going to partly be unlearning things I learned in childhood that don't align with me. So that might be organized religion for someone. That might be what their career path is. That might be the kind of partners they choose. And part of this healing journey is an unlearning and a relearning of what is healthy and what is truly aligned. So when we talk about Pisces, this is a really spiritual, mystical kind of energy that can be connected to through spiritual practice. Now that could be singing mantra. Those students in abracadabra astrology, we are doing mantra and kundalini once a week. This is a really big part of the process, because in order to connect to your divinity, you want to open those channels within you and connect to the energies within you, like your chakra system or your nadis, your energy channels in the body that can become blocked, that can become sort of stagnant. So we do these practices to open the energy channel. So that could be singing for you, it could be dancing, it could be doing yoga, it could be writing, it could be playing music, it could be doing art. These are all Piscean themes. It's how do you move the emotions inside of you so that you can feel good? How do you move the emotions inside of you so you're not holding on to the past and holding on to your stories, but so that you have this open channel where you can connect to to the divine, beautiful energy that's flowing through all things. And when you haven't connected to that, life can feel really meaningless. Life can feel, depressing and sad. But when you are in those states, which some people find through doing psychedelics, some people find through dancing, some people find through pranayama, breath work, whatever it is, you feel connected, you feel alive, you feel tapped into something that is greater than your egoic mind. And the ego is so strong and we need it to stay alive, but we don't want it to be running the show 100% of the time, because all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. You've seen The Shining, right? You'll go crazy if you let your ego take over. So this Piscean year and a half plus that we're stepping into is going to ask us to step up in our spiritual practice, and whatever that means for you, so that you are not living a meaningless life, a nihilistic life where nothing matters and we're just going to die and nothing's going to happen. In the school of astrology that I come from, and to do any astrology, you have to have a base understanding that we are reincarnated beings. And Buddhism teaches that we are reincarnated beings. We're not just here randomly for no reason and then to die, to like make money and die, make money, die trying. No, we are divine, potent, powerful, magical beings that have come into this incarnation to learn lessons, to heal, to grow, and to help raise the consciousness of the other beings on this planet by raising our own consciousness and healing and being in this space of connection. So another huge piece of this Pisces puzzle, the Pisces puzzle, is forgiveness. No one wants to hear that. It's way easier to hold grudges. It's way easier to blame someone. It's way easier to be in the seat of, I'm a victim, they hurt me, and that's the end of the story, than it is to say, I'm not going to forget that that happened, but I am going to forgive, because I understand that if I'm holding a grudge or I'm holding hate in my heart, it's like drinking poison and expecting the other person to drop dead. And I don't want to poison myself. I don't want to create illness in myself. I don't want to create violence in myself. So I'm going to release that, do whatever I can to heal those kind of judgments or hatred, or ways that we've been the victim, because that is part of being a human. And part of the process of forgiveness, which takes a great deal of compassion and understanding for ourselves and also the other person, it doesn't mean, hey, that's okay what they did. It's, I'm not going to create toxicity within myself, because my cells don't understand what happened then and how now is a new time. My cells only hear that it's happening now, and they're putting that vibration back into the world. So one of the highest frequencies of Piscean energy is compassion. It's like Mother Teresa. It's understanding, it's love, it's being able to take space from the experiences other people are having and hold them in compassion without letting them impact your own field of energy and your own health and wellness. And that can be really hard. And so when you have Piscean energy, it can be tough. It's hard to be a Pisces. They feel everything. They feel everything so, so, so deeply. And water holds memory, right? Literally, water, if you look at it, you put an emotion into it, you speak a word into it, and you look at it into a microscope, it has held that vibration and will show you that crystalline result. If you freeze it, look that up on YouTube. I think it's Dr. Masuto. I'll put that, I'll come back to that, make sure I get the right person's work up, or Emoto. I'm gonna look it up right now. All right, check this out. So it's Dr. Masudo Emoto. And look at this beautiful image. The following water sample was collected before the Buddhist prayer was offered. Another Buddhist prayer image. Another prayer image. So it's clear from these experiments that everything carries a vibration, and that vibration can be shifted immediately with love and gratitude. So this is proven by science. This is a magical Piscean art of an image of water with an emotion in the water, frozen, and water holds memory. It holds its own intelligence. So I'm not going to go for days and days and days. Thank you for still listening if you're listening. The takeaways are, in the next 18 months, starting from January 11th and on, we're leaning towards spiritual expansion and opening our minds to the myriad of ways that we can connect to the divinity that runs through all things, the energy, the spark of life that runs through us and all beings. And that can be through prayer, song, yoga, art, music, whatever way that you get connected into the energy of feeling this like beautiful divine oneness with all beings. And I'm going to have to make a second video on the South Node, which is Virgo. I'll just quickly say that Virgo is this perfectionist tendency that we have, this nature of getting it right. And often that comes with overthinking, worrying, overanalyzing, feeling like we're not doing enough, judging ourselves, judging other people, and just like overall having this overly analytical, egoic centered mindset. And we're going to be learning about the balance. How do we find connection to spirituality and the divine, and also be human beings in these human bodies on planet Earth in the material realm? We have to be here. We're none of us, if you're watching this video, you're not meant to be in a temple meditating for 20 years. You're meant to be part of society. And how do we balance that with compassion and love, kindness, spiritual practices? And then Virgo with a healthy mind, with a pure, peaceful mind that allows us to want to grow and want to get better, but not at the cutting down of ourselves. So really we're finding compassion. That's the big one. I just want to write it on the screen. Compassion with a rainbow. So I hope this helped. If this served you in any way, you are resonating with these words in any way, pop a comment below. And if you want to do more of these practices and learn more about mantra, kundalini yoga, all of this good Piscean stuff, I will leave a link for you to find out more how to connect below. So thank you so much. Sending you so much love, so much gratitude to you, and I'll see you on the other side.